It's that time of the month, the Clifton Comic Show. I went and picked up just a small pile of books. Let's take a look at what I grabbed and why. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Greetings, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And I will say I use the term panelologists because it was a term coined by Jerry Bales, one of the leaders of innovators of fandom in comic books in the early 1960s, a big Golden Age fan who created the fanzine Alter Ego, later on working with Roy Thomas. And he used that term in early Overstreets, like in the 1970s. That's the term they use. Like philatelists and newsmatists. Anyway, it's kind of a fun little word. I like antiquated words. If you enjoy the content here on the channel, please subscribe if you've not already done so. I appreciate that. We're over 4,900 subscribers and getting ready to announce our 5,000 subscriber giveaway. Also follow us on other socials, Instagram, Bronzeville_comics, on Whatnot, Bronzeville_comics. There will be a link in the description of this video that if you are not yet on Whatnot and you use it, you'll get $10 off your first purchase. It doesn't have to be with me. Also in the description of this video is a link to my email as well as my eBay store. So, yeah, it was Sunday, and there's one of the several monthly shows in New Jersey. Clifton is in a little bit different venue during the winter because the regular venue they use is a warming center. So I headed off. Let's take a look at the venue. So we're headed into the Clifton Comic Show of the winter venue, which is at the Early Childhood Learning Center, the gym. So let's take a look. I'm not looking now. They're playing well. All these injuries too. How do you like it? What I did do So you saw a little bit of a look there. What struck me as I was looking at the wall books was the number of Archie books that were on there. It was, it seems as though that is a growing segment, that an untapped segment of fandom. And I actually, what I do is I'll quickly peruse those Archie books at like flea markets and stuff that most everybody bypasses, because there are a couple little, golden nuggets in there, especially if you can get Golden Age stuff, some of the early stuff. And I saw, you might have seen a lot of that on the wall. So at any rate, or the walls of different vendors. So I went, and there's, was it Ozzy that does like the half price books? He's there pretty much every show and does a lot of books for half price. I mean, people were digging deep. The Street Side Anthony was like elbow deep in a short box. People had huge stacks before I got to it, and I got there 2 minutes after the start of the show. But I did pull out some books. this Superboy, I was kind of looking for Neil Adams covers from the late 60s. I'm not sure this is Adams. I don't think this is. Superman, this is not Neil Adams, but this is the first appearance of Terra Man, a prominent Superman villain in the 1970s, and I have posited that he's just goofy enough of a character. He's like a space cowboy on a winged horse with who can go toe to toe with Superman. And when I was a kid, you saw Terra Man all the time in Superman comics in the 1970s. He was used quite frequently, and James Gunn is a month older than I am, so if he was reading Superman comics as a kid, as I was, he was growing up with Terra Man. Another Neil Adams Superboy cover. And another one. Then I picked this up. This is the first kind of prototype appearance of Justice League Dark in Swamp Thing number 49. It's not really Justice League Dark, but a lot of the same members, and it is a newsstand. Now, I'm going to save that because I think that's the best book of the day. I'm going to hold off on that. This, I don't think it's quite a 9/8 contender, but this is a nice book, this Jim Lee cover, and they're kind of redoing the story, giving it more depth. Basically, it's when Cap and Wolverine met in the 1940s. Despite what some people think because of the cover, it starts with Black Widow, but there's a flashback. She wasn't around in the 1940s, so she wasn't there. Picked up this Thor 1 Scotty Young cover. Still has some value, just not the value it did have. And then, for the PC, I picked up these three Shazams. This is actually the lowest grade of the three. It does have some dings on it, kind of maybe been the top book in the bundle that was delivered. But these are really nice copies. That's number 2. That's number 3. This is the first cover appearance outside of the golden age of Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel. And then number 11. All pretty nice shape. I'm trying to kind of slowly work on the Shazam run. I liked... And again, this is kind of a spec book because we know that they are coming. This Jim Aparo cover of Weird War Tales 105 with the Creature Commandos, just like Frankenstein with that granite swastika defeating the Nazis. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't read a lot of the Creature Commandos. I have to kind of catch up on that before we get the TV series. But you have a werewolf, a Frankenstein, and a vampire. And then a couple of romance books from Charlton, I thought they were, a nice deal because he was given about half off. So then I hit up Street Side Anthony, and because Christmas season's coming up, of course you got to have, Christmas themed covers. That was a big book a year ago. Just thought I'd have that. I'm not sure. The Terrifics. We know that Mr. Terrific is coming to Superman Legacy. Metamorpho's coming as well, and Plastic Man has to come at some point. It's a nice little key. And then another romance. This is My Romantic Adventures. So, I don't know when this is from, but it might be the 1950s, considering how big that that Comics Code stamp is. When the Comics Code stamp is a little bit bigger than that, when it first came out. And then it got smaller and smaller. They're like, yeah, you got to make sure that this book is safe. You can read it. It's okay. I'm not even sure what year that's from. I have to look that up. I'm not positive. And then Elite Comic Sales Steve. I got this New Mutants number 26, first appearance of Legion in a newsstand. This early Harley Quinn appearance in Continuity. Detective 737. Might submit that. Young Avengers 6. This is if you know, you know. I think this is first Cassie Lang at Stature, if I remember correctly. And I got this Brave and the Bold. I'm kind of slowly working on this run when I see it. I thought this was a pretty sharp copy. This kind of is a follow-up to the earlier Batman Green Lantern, but the interior art, the cover's by Carmine Infantino, and Joe Giella. The interior art by Win Mortimer. And then a vendor that I know had some books. We were just kind of chatting away, and I picked up this. This has been a hot book lately. Fantastic Four. What number is that? 244. When Frankie Ray becomes Nova. There's thoughts that there's going to be a female Herald of Galactus, and that it could be Frankie Ray. We'll see. And then this, I might look to submit. There is a crease that just slightly breaks color on the cover. I got to see how that'll come out. But this is Incredible Hulk 256, the first appearance of Sabra. And we do know that Sabra is coming in Captain America Brave New World. I keep having to think because they changed the title from New World Order to Brave New World. So then the other book I picked up, I got this for half price, and I felt that it was very conservatively graded because it looked great. And I have to actually give a shout out to Ryan from Automatic Comics, because he had gotten a run of these books in and submitted a lot of them, got them in the 9s. And there are certain books, even if they're not keys from the early Bronze Age and earlier, that books in the 9s carry value because they are rare. You have to do your research on that. I think this book in an 8.5 is about, I think the most recent sale of an 8.5 is $160. I think it can do a little better than that with a clean press. It definitely needs a press, but it just kind of popped to me because it's a gorgeous cover. The colors look great. And it is Star Trek number 6. This great photo cover. And you can see there are some spine ticks, right? But look at, I mean, the corners are super sharp. The colors really pop. It does need a press. The whites are very white. So I think I'm going to submit this and hope for the best. Because, like I said, if that can get like a $150 book in an 8.5, even better if you get into the 9s, it's well worth it. The only thing is those older books do cost a little bit more to submit for grading. So that's kind of it from the Clifton Comic Show. One of the nice things is with the big conventions pretty much done for the season, these local shows that we have here in the tri-state area just keep on going every month, even like in December. A lot of the shows take place. So it does give an opportunity to just get out of the house on a Sunday morning. Just, go to a show, chat with people from the community, and pick up some comic books. So I wasn't really targeting anything specific. I looked at a couple of wall books, but, the grades weren't what I wanted. So I took a pass on it. But I think I picked up some good books. And you do eventually. Like, I wouldn't have been targeting this book necessarily. But again, if I could get that like in a 9, really the spine ticks are the only problem. They will be minimized. Hopefully few enough of them break color. Maybe we can get a 9 out of that. I think an 8.5 is probably where that lands, but a 9 would be great. So not a lot of books to submit. A few for the PC. A few that I'm going to read and maybe move on from. I do have to spend more time reading. What about you? If you're collecting comics, do you have enough time to read all your comics? Obviously, if I sat down, and some of these I do not have. I mean, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I have 9 of these books already in the personal collection. So I could go ahead and just read them, but it would take me, several days to get through all these. Let me know how much reading you're doing. In the meantime, take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.